Okay, leaked footage of Dragon's Dogma 2 has surfaced online thanks to repeated streams over on Twitch, as early copies of the game have seemingly begun sprouting up in the wild, as well as a few trophies and achievements that seem to have popped up, as well as a user over on Reddit who was lucky enough to get their hands on a copy. So we're going to talk about some of these leaks, so this is your spoiler warning. Close the video now if you don't want to know anything. We also have some more information from Dragon's Dogma 2 director Hideaki Itsuno that we'll go over as well. Okay, so with that being said, let's dive in. Now, I personally will not be showing any of the leaked footage because I'm scared of Capcom, but it's pretty easy to find. It's all over Reddit, and there's not a small amount of it. There's roughly 6 hours worth of the footage available. There's a whole post on the subreddit talking about the details from a user who got early access to the game, and all sorts. So, it is out there, you can find it. Now, what this footage and leaks do tell us so far is that apparently it's more difficult to climb up enemies. Now, if you look at the official footage from Capcom, we only see the thief vocation climbing up enemies, and we see the party climbing up the massive Tarantulas monster. So, it's also stated during the thief vocation video from Capcom that they are able to claim monsters, and this isn't mentioned anywhere else for the others. So perhaps this ties into that. Maybe the thief is more capable of climbing smoothly, while other vocations have a harder time. Maybe it's just limited to thief, unless it's a ginormous monster like the Tarantulas monster. It's pretty unclear still, not many more details were shown or given, but that's sort of my perception of what we do know. Now, thanks to the Reddit user, Peroconsana1, we know that apparently the difficulty of the game is described as greater than the first. This personally isn't good news for me, because I found the first game pretty challenging at some points, but that might have just been because I wasn't really playing it properly. I did like to try and rush through games when I was younger, so maybe it's because of that. But obviously difficulty is going to be something that each individual player will discover for themselves. Some people find certain games easier, certain playthrough styles, that sort of stuff. However, with all that being said, the pawns and their AI is said to be much better compared to the first game, which you would kind of hope and come to expect from both Capcom and a sequel. I'd find it a little hard to believe and probably a little upsetting if the pawns didn't function any better, especially because Capcom have had a whole previous game and a plethora of years to really improve the AI for the companions and the pawns. So yeah, this was probably to be expected, but it's nice to see it's confirmed. The vocations themselves are also said to be much better than the first game, which sounds really good from both a gameplay aspect and from a build aspect. And I personally don't really think this is much of a leak. I think you can just look at the footage that we've already seen, and it's pretty evident that it's better. Like, the gameplay just looks so fluid. Like, even the traditionally boring like class of like the sword and board, the warrior, the fighter, looks really fun. Like, I can't lie, it looks really fun. So yeah, I don't think this is a leak personally. Obviously this will be the leaker's opinion, but I think this is also pretty safe to have already assumed anyway, because it looks so much better than the first game. Now we do have some story spoilers, and this is probably the big one. Again, this is according to Reddit user Peroconsana1. Apparently, the Arisen is stated to become a king, which would tie into what we know about how the Kingdom of Vermont treats Arisens as sovereigns. However, what this does do is leave the comment in the trailers about a fake Arisen being on the throne even more ambiguous. Like, how does this all tie together? Obviously, this is assuming that the leak itself is true and that the leaker is being honest. The integrity of the leaks and the leaker isn't something I'm willing to touch. It will be up to you guys to decide, I guess. But yeah, how the story of this now plays out of, are we an actual sovereign? Are we due to be a sovereign? Who is this fake Arisen? All that sort of stuff. All of this tying into the character creator itself, because if you go through the character creator, which is available now online, get it on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, you can have a lot of age possibilities. So the game itself now doesn't assume you are a young character like the first game did, which I think is really nice. Obviously, I like playing as younger characters, being a sub-30-year-old man, so it's nice to play as younger characters if I choose to. It's nice to play as older, more veteran characters if I choose to. I really like how the game apparently doesn't limit this option now. And the character creator itself gives you the ability to be older, so it's nice to not have the game assume you're a certain age range. Now, we also heard that the game itself wouldn't give you directions when taking quests, but this has been slightly counterclaimed. According to the leaks, some quests do in fact mark your map with a circle, whereas some don't, and this isn't affected by whether they are a main quest or a side quest. Now, to the extent of this, we don't know. It's unclear if the circle on the map is the exact spot of a quest or a character or an item, or if it's a larger circle marking the general zone for you to explore, almost akin to like a Witcher, where you have to find a certain ingredient or like find a certain thing underwater, and it's just like a massive circle that you have to explore. We don't know yet. But it is nice to know that we will have some sort of direction to the game for certain things. Again, some quests and side quests still will not have map markers, so you are going to be going in blind per se. Now, there's a few other details about the leaks that I won't go over, and I myself haven't seen too much footage because I want to be as spoiler free as possible, because I will be doing a blind Let's Play on this channel here. I'll be streaming it, so if you want to come and hang out for that, that'd be amazing. But overall, this game does look to be a Game of the Year contender for me personally, and we're now just 72 hours away from release. So I'm going to be avoiding all spoilers myself, and all details, unless they come directly from Capcom, as honestly, from the sounds of it and how this is looking, it seems to be the kind of game that is best experienced firsthand, completely blind, and then once you're in the world, maybe then seeking out some answers on how to do certain guides or builds or quests, that sort of thing. But I think as a first experience of the game, jumping into it and experiencing it is definitely the way to go. Now, talking of Capcom, as I said before, the director Hideaki Itsuno has come up with some new information, and this is regarding the Beastren race. Now, apparently, the Beastren race that we see all over Dragon's Dogma 2 was supposed to be in Dragon's Dogma 1. However, they had to be cut because of the fur. Yep, that's right. The fur of the Beastren race was too much for the hardware of the first game. They were unable to have multiple characters with fur on screen at the same time. Therefore, they were unable to do justice to the models and the race itself, and the idea was scrapped. So I'm glad we can finally see this into existence in the second game, and it does look like a really fun class to play, and the customizing options in the character creator are really fun as well. Again, if you haven't checked out the character creator, please do so. If you're on the fence, maybe that'd be what tips you into buying it or not buying it. It's free to download, and it's a small download as well, so why not give it a go? So, with all that being said, that is some Beastren news from Capcom themselves, and a small little overview of some of the leaked footage. Again, I haven't gone over all of it. If you wish to seek it out, it is out there. It's really easy to find. And if you're lucky enough to have an early copy of the game, please don't stream it. Rightfully so, Capcom are taking down all of the streams of people who have gotten it with copyright strikes. So that is some news. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, please drop the video a like. Helps amazingly. Let me know below. Are you looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2? I know I am. I'm going to be doing a midnight stream for it. So if you are interested in that, buckle up and come and join me. And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are going to be doing a lot more Baldur's Gate and Dragon's Dogma 2 content over the coming days. So don't miss a single thing. And I'll see you in the next one, I hope. Bye, guys.